Hey, this is Travis with Waconda Boats. We're going to try and knock out another Q&A video for you. We've been getting a lot of questions on the new Tyee line. For guys that are not aware, Lund completely revamped the Tyee line for 2020, and it's all a lot of great changes. I think we have the best Tyee lineup that we've ever had for several reasons. What I love what they did was these new Tyees, the sizes just make perfect sense. Meaning the families that we're trying to cater to, these new Tyee sizes kind of fit the bill a little bit. They just kind of meet the customer's needs a little better as far as sizing goes. And I say that because we have now an 1875, a 1975, and a 2075. So basically we have a 19-footer, a 20-footer, and a 21-footer. And those sizes kind of make up about 95% of what the Tyee buyer wants, based on what they're going to do. Now, if you saw our first Q&A video, you saw I kind of break down the questions that customers should ask themselves to try and help narrow down which size and model fits them the best. And that's what I generally do. What I try and do for guys that are really Tyee shopping, we try and have these side by side in the showroom. So I'll have the 2075, the 1975, and the 1875. And so we'll take the customers in the 1975 so we can be standing in that, and they can visually look at the 20 and the 18 and then really kind of make a comparison from there. Because usually when I do that, they know instantly, which model's going to fit them the best. They're either going to say, we need bigger, or this size is plenty. And then of course we've got to keep the budget in there as well. I'm probably most excited about the 1975 just because we've never really been able to offer a 20-foot Tyee, and that kind of filled a really good niche that we've been lacking. We never really had a 20-footer. We always had 21s and we had 18s and 19s. So that 1975 I'm really excited about. It's already went over really well. So what did they change besides the sizing? There's a lot of really nice interior upgrades they made. They've got really nice LED rope lighting for the interior lighting. They widened them out so they're wider than they were for 2019. And we have individual videos on these boats, so you guys can literally click on each one and then you can see, we kind of point out what the changes were, and that'll help you compare the different sizes. Nothing really can compare to actually crawling in one physically, but you can get at those videos and at least get a really good idea before you're actually able to make a decision on the sizing and things like that. So hopefully that helps answer that question on the Tyees we've been getting. I'm going to try and bang out a technical question here last. So this is only going to pertain to guys. I'm going to try not to confuse people. This is only going to pertain to guys, let's say you have an engine, and it doesn't matter if it's a Verado or if it's a new style 4-stroke, your engine has a power steering pump, okay? Most of the engines either have hydraulic steering or power steering, but this is going to pertain to people that have a power steering pump and have a kicker motor, okay? Because a common question I get is there's always been kind of some battery capacity issues. Anytime you're dealing with a power steering pump and a kicker motor, there's some challenges there, and the reason for that is that kicker motor has a hard time running the power steering pump and charging its battery at the same time, right? They were never really designed to do that. That's why we always preach when a guy has a power steering pump engine, and it doesn't matter if it's a 225 or a 350 or a 400, that power steering pump is still drawing the same amount of battery amperage. And so we always preach to go with the 15 horse because it actually has a 12 amp charging system versus a 6 amp on the 9.9. So that's one thing we always preach. We're trying to solve the problem of guys having battery issues when they're running the kicker motor and having a power steering pump. We have solutions for that now. The first solution is you want to start with a 15 horse because it just charges more, right? What we do now for our customers that are buying a boat that has a power steering pump and a kicker, there's two ways that you can gain battery capacity. The first way is, and we were doing this probably since about 7-8 years ago, we, believe it or not, we're actually installing 3 cranking batteries. Okay, so you have one main battery for the main engine, and then we have 2 batteries that you don't really call it a house battery, but 2 batteries that basically run the kicker motor and all the other 12-volt electronics. So we have 2 batteries hooked in parallel, and then we'll put an onboard charger on there as well so that it can be topped off at the end of the day. So what we found was when we added 2 batteries to the kicker, you could still run the power steering pump and you still had multiple hours before you would notice your voltage start to drop below 12 volts, because obviously we don't want your crank battery to get below 12 volts. We always want the big engine to start. So that's one partial solution. For guys that absolutely want the power steering pump with the kicker motor, that's the only thing we'll do. We're going to do 3 crank batteries and wire it in sequence to where it basically just boosts the capacity, so you have extra run time before you have to worry about cranking the big motor on to kind of battery boost everything up. What we've been doing lately, and this is my preferred method, is we will actually disconnect the power to the power steering to the kicker motor, okay? Because when we do that, it eliminates all battery capacity issues. So you can just run 2 batteries this way. You can run your main engine battery, your kicker battery. We disconnect the wire, the wake-up wire, to the power steering to the kicker. And so now you have unlimited runtime with the kicker. Now the kicker's charging 14 volts, so you have no issues with battery capacity. The disadvantage to it is a little tough to steer without power steering. I mean, it can be done, it's just stiff. What a lot of guys do nowadays anyway is they're steering with their electric motor and they're setting their speed with the kicker motor. So the most fail-safe way that you can rig your boat with power steering and kicker is to just disconnect the power steering to the kicker. And that's what we've been doing about 90% of the time the last 2 years. But, we always give the customers the option depending on what they want to do. So hopefully that answers that question as far as the battery capacity and pertaining to kicker motors and power steering. Again, we'll try and keep answering these questions as they come through, and thank you very much.